guys, it's Eric the LonePineWolfman with another video. But before we get to it, I'm going to let you know that I'm giving away a free copy of Red Dead Redemption 2. Just be an active subscriber and let me know what gaming system you have in the comments below.
My cause is to keep this town from turning into a living hell for the folks who live here. Whole world has problems, mister, and I'm here doing what I can.
Why? What's happening?
Right now, I got the railway, the people who pay my salary, trying to get me to turn a blind eye to them burning down settlements up there. I got a bunch of cattle rustlers out near Box Canyon needs shutting down. Not forgetting the gang that keeps murdering homesteaders out in the back country. And I got a bunch of hoods over in the saloon, drunk, threatening to shoot up the whole town. That's all I got today. But it's early yet. Give me a couple more days. There'll be more.
The Sheriff, the Marshal, and the Tin Star. The Western Lawmen tried to keep order in a chaotic land. Expected to handle the mundane, as well as the extremely dangerous, those who put on the star were often revered by some and underappreciated by most. During the time of Red Dead Redemption 2, they have had a long history in trying to tame some of the wilder aspects and people of the West. We know Edgar Ross will be a part of the game, but as for the lawmen themselves, we may see a few different types, or famous men that they might be based off of. Aside from regular lawmen who tried to keep peace in the towns and territories, there were others who could be considered law when there was no official lawman about. These were the security agents from private companies, and some of the most famous came from Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo and Company did a lot more than just banking like today. They hold freight, mail, and money across the West. They were some of the first to issue a shotgun to a man sitting next to the driver on a stagecoach, giving us the eventual term riding shotgun. Wells Fargo stagecoaches and trains were always a target for outlaws, and they often paid top dollar for their own security agents and detectives. The most famous outlaw to be brought in by Wells Fargo was the notorious Charles Bowles, aka Black Bart. After committing over 25 robberies, Wells Fargo detective James B. Hume finally got a lead after Bowles was wounded after robbing a stagecoach. He found a handkerchief with a laundry mark, and checked each laundry in nearby San Francisco. He eventually found the establishment, got an address, and caught Bowles in 1883. We never sleep. The famous line from the Pinkertons, eventually transformed by media into the private eye. The Pinkertons started out as a government security force to protect and spy for President Lincoln during the Civil War. After the war, they became hired for everything from spying to private military work to capturing outlaws. They were never afraid to get their hands dirty for the most part, and characters like Edgar Ross seem to be almost the embodiment of their more controversial history. Aside from breaking strikes and unions, they hunted outlaws, just like the James Younger Gang and Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch. We have heard of Wild Bill Hickok, Wyatt Earp, and Pat Garrett. But arguably, the best Western lawmen you've never heard of are the Three Guardsmen, Bill Tigman, Chris Madsen, and Henry Andrew Heck Thomas, all operating under the jurisdiction of Marshal Everett E.D. Nix. They worked out of Oklahoma, known as Indian Territory back then, and brought in or killed over 300 outlaws between them in their careers. Just like the Red Dead series, they were concerned with cleaning up the soon-to-be state. They all had a reputation for non-stop pursuit, not caring about bad weather or other hazards. They were all expert trackers in their own right, and had an unstoppable will to bring justice. Some of their most famous pursuits were the Dalton Gang by Heck Thomas, which drove the gang to make the costly raid in Coffeyville, Kansas, which we discussed in an earlier video. They also pursued the original Wild Bunch, also known as the Doolin Gang, where each member was systematically killed or arrested by the Guardsmen. So, these are some pretty badass dudes. The lawman that would be following Dutch's gang seemed to be based on this unstoppable lawman concept that the Guardsmen displayed. Western outlaws were a tough bunch, but the lawmen were tougher. As of now, we do not know the name of this character or who he works for, but he and the other lawmen in the game will surely give us a run for our lives when Red Dead comes out. Rockstar has edited elements of these lawmen, and no doubt we'll see how it affects Arthur when the lawmen start closing in. And as always, thank you for watching. This is Eric the LonePineWolfman, and if you liked the video, please click that like button and subscribe for more. Be sure to check out my next Red Dead vid on bounty hunters of the West. And remember, gamers, never stop learning. I'll catch you next time.